Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of The Broken Test, where I go ahead and take a average Joe CO and I put them up against the Broken Bunch, the Busted Few, the Auto Win Buttons, just to see if they can win. I myself am semi-original guy, aka Mr. Cannon, here on Advanced Wars by Web. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this one with the CO picks. So, as usual, I have gone ahead and picked Andy, my favorite CO personally in Advanced Wars, old average Andy. His day-to-day abilities are nothing, zero. He's got nothing, no day-to-day abilities at all. His co-power will give you a +2 healing globally, and his super co-power will give you a +1 movement, +10% firepower, and +5 healing to all units on the field, which can be incredibly powerful if used properly. But with Andy's day-to-day abilities being nothing, he kind of falls short on the tier list, unfortunately, averaging around somewhere around tier 2. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at Sensei here. So Sensei, on the other hand, will actually get +50% firepower to his battlecopters. So as we all know, battlecopters are an air unit. They have incredible mobility all over the field. And with battlecopters firepower being comparable to, let's say, the average tank on the field, with a 50% firepower bonus, that can be very, very effective. So his co-power is what actually makes him broken. So his co-power, which is Copter Command, is 2-star power, and it will spawn infantry on every single owned, unoccupied city. So that can very quickly and very brutally change the tides of battle in Sensei's favor. His super co-power, Airborne Assault, will actually, instead of spawn infantry, will spawn mechs for 6 stars instead. And with a bonus of 40% firepower to those mechs and infantry, it can be very, very effective. Now his co-power and super co-power, I believe, will also increase the value or the power of those battlecopters as well. I will put the information on screen for you to read. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the match. Now the first few turns are always standard infantry builds. You want to get those infantry on the field as fast as possible. So especially on a map like this, there is a lot of neutral cities everywhere. They are all over the place. You got to get them as fast as possible. Now the most contested cities, in my opinion, on this map would be the 3 cities right here, in the south and the north, and the 2 in the center. Everything else is kind of clear cut to who sort of owns them, but those ones are the most contested. Especially when we're talking about Sensei here, you do not want to have that Sensei get properties that are close to you. Because those infantry hurt, they really do, and you don't want to get hit by them. Alright, so we'll scooch ahead here. There is really no difference in the play at this moment. We do see some infantry going for the ports, I believe, and some infantry going in the center. Now, my opponent Sensei here has actually entered the center fairly quickly because of the first turn advantage. He got an infantry to capture this property here, and now he's in the center. He could easily go and capture the comm tower up here, or go for one of 2 neutral cities. Now, in this sense, this infantry could be interrupted on either of these 2 properties, so the logical choice would probably be to go for the comm tower. Now I decided to actually build a tank this turn to start putting early aggression on the map. You don't want Sensei to be able to build up cities, and you kind of just don't want to let him roam free. You gotta do as much damage as you can to him. The only drawback with that is Copter Command being a 2-star power, he will get that power really, really quick no matter what you do. So it's painful, very painful. Alright, so with this move, I move my tank into the center, start applying pressure over here, start capturing cities. Actually, I'm going to get about 5 cities next turn, which is pretty good towards my funds. So there. Ooh, Sensei actually went for this one down here instead of going for the comm tower, which is not really that bad of a choice, because in all reality, with Sensei having that increased firepower by like 40% and the 30% from the city, it would be a very losing battle to actually engage that. Alright, so I go ahead and take a shot at the infantry, just because I'm going to try to start whittling down his forces as much as I can. And I begin to shift my units around to start capturing more properties, putting as much aggression on the map as I possibly can. I now have 2 tanks in the center. Sensei just built his 2 tanks this turn, so we're going to see what happens with those ones here. Sensei takes an early shot at an infantry that just recently captured one of my properties as well. So doing a lot of early aggression here. Plants his tank onto the HQ, so that is a no-go. Do not want to attack that. I don't think it would be a good idea to attack that tank anyways, considering the way that the map looks right now, but even if it was, I would not want to go there. Sensei also takes out a infantry in the north that recently captured property as well. So terrible, terrible times for Mr. Average Andy. I'm now 2 units behind in the overall number game, I would say. So I do manage to snag an infantry kill right there, and I begin to capture the comm tower in the north. Move my tank down to take a few more shots at infantry. I do block off this tank from being attacked by either of these two. So the counter attack could possibly happen. We'll see what does actually occur. Now I kind of boldly go to try to capture this comm tower in the south. It is blocked off by 2 infantry though, but I keep my tank close just to kind of ward off this tank from attacking, because he did build a mech down here, so he's got no immediate reinforcements, thankfully. But we're going to see what happens now. Yeah, so infantry takes a double shot at that guy, so this was a mistake, probably should not have went for that. But you know, I wanted to try anyways. Yeah, Sensei just taking massive shots at infantry all around too. Going for a double attack up here in the north. Tank moving onto the city, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is good because he couldn't attack this tank anyways. Not that he would want to. Kind of a losing battle to do that, so probably would not suggest that one. Alright, let's see what else we got. Building a transport copter too, which is very nice. Oh, an additional thing that Sensei has is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so his transport copters will also get a +1 movement, like day to day. So his transports are incredibly mobile, and I think that actually pairs up well with the mechs too. Because if you could actually get a transport copter to funnel mechs to the front line very, very quickly, it can be highly effective as well. So day 8. So I continue the capture on this comm tower here, which is now sitting at 5. So I only need to get a few more points on that, and then I'll be able to get it. And then hopefully that'll level the field a little bit. Alright, so I joined cap on these two, so now he's not doing too bad. Not too bad at all. Alright, and I take a shot at this tank here. I do know that this tank is in position to attack it too, but I do have a tank right here for counterattack purposes if it comes down to that. I do build an anti-air in the north because he does have this airport right here, and I'm attempting to hopefully airlock it very soon. Okay, we'll see if I was smart enough to actually build another tank in the north. Yeah, okay. So, I do know that this anti-air is open to attack from 2 units. However, if he moves up with both of those tanks, then he's going to get double shot with these 2 tanks. And then if he does decide to build a battlecopter for me, here I am able to build another anti-air unit, send it down here. So it'd be debatable whether or not I'd actually be able to hit anything, but the fear of God would be there at least, so that would be okay. Now, anything else interesting happen here? I did build a battlecopter in the south, which is an okay build. Yeah, so he does go up and take out that anti-air unit. So maybe that infantry attack right there was probably not really a super good idea. He does build that battlecopter, which is now gonna most likely be able to take a shot at whatever goes down there. Yeah, so maybe not a great idea. Probably should have thought that one through a little bit. But, fun fact again, every single one of these broken test battles that I do are live. So there's no real time for planning, so to speak. You just kind of have to go with the flow. I mean, as you can see here, the times right here are sitting at like 18 minutes and 16 minutes, so they are going by very quickly. We got 2 mechs in the south now too, which is, woo, looking pretty good. Now, on average, like I probably wouldn't build too many mechs. Like I know actually, I do build mechs sometimes. Depends on the game, you know. But in this sense, the mechs down here are actually pretty good because there's not really too much travel time down here. So the mechs can get in the front line over here like very, very quickly. So not really anything too wrong with that. My battlecopter goes down, takes shot at the infantry, which I do finish off with another one there. And what else have we got going on? So I move my artillery down to defend against these guys, which is pretty nice. Take another shot at that tank, finishing it off. Okay, so I opt out for attacking both of the tanks to just attack one of them and finish it off. Which is not too bad of an idea. Now, in hindsight, if I had this tank here, I could have probably, like, it might have been a good idea to actually bring it back here instead of taking the shot. Because I could have built an anti-air here, which could have been moved right here if this battlecopter decided to actually move up and take a shot here. So I could have forced Sensei to do something differently in that sense. Okay, so this is where things are going to start to get very, 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 very dangerous. Very dangerous. Because Sensei now has his copter command. Very dangerous. And, like, you know, I was actually, like, I'm not doing, like, too great, but I'm not doing too bad either. I do have a lot of presence down here. I got quite a bit of presence in the center. Up here, it's like, I don't know, it's kind of looking a little bit debatable, but if he chooses to attack with this guy, then I am going to get this capture here. The unfortunate thing is Copter Command is a highly, highly deadly power. Find out why. Just a moment. Alright, so let's replay that again. So Sensei is sitting at 18 units right now. 18. Right? Boom. Copter Command. 28 units. 10 units out of nowhere. And they are highly strong infantry. Highly strong infantry. Even at like 9 HP, these infantry can easily take out another full health HP. Infantry. No problem at all. And if you now see in the north, because he got that immediate spawn, this infantry is now ready to interrupt this cap here, as is this infantry here. So he could actually take one infantry, interrupt the cap, and then start capturing this property up here, which would force my hand to actually interrupt that cap, which is not good considering the difference in units now. Because now he's sitting at 28 and I'm sitting at 21. He does opt out to actually just take out the infantry fully, which is not a bad idea, actually. There's the one thing that is going to make Sensei incredibly, incredibly powerful is just having that unit advantage. It's having many, many units all over the place. What can you do against that many units? That is the real question. Now, map dependent, obviously, but I would suggest that if you're going to be playing against a Sensei, one of the best things that you can do is one of two things. So, you either have to build an incredibly strong indirect force, so that those infantry, if they do go up and attack you, they're just going to get wiped out quickly. The other thing is to tech up as quickly as you can, because infantry are not going to be able to do anything against medium tanks or anything above that. Now, they will be able to be used as blockers in that sense, so if Sensei decides to build like a huge indirect force himself, or back up a lot of things with battlecopters, obviously, then your medium tanks and everything are going to have sort of a tough time against those, but if you back those up with anti-air units, then it could be okay. But we'll find out what happens. Actually, an interesting fun fact too is if you're ever playing in the High Funds League, there are certain maps, it might just be all maps, but it might be certain maps too, but Sensei is actually not banned in tier 1 play when it comes to High Funds, or tier 1 play. So he's actually considered tier 1 and not tier 0 in High Funds. Now that is solely because when it comes to High Funds, you tech up very, very quickly, so the match turns into very big unit play very, very quickly. I've actually played Sensei a couple times in High Funds, and I've managed to beat him with COs like Hawk. So, yeah, it's possible. You can do it. Tanks taking shots at other tanks, taking them out entirely, which is sad. Sad for me. Oh, and now we have a medium tank on the field, 2-1 day 10. And that's the other thing about Sensei too, because he's gonna have so many infantry and everything that you really don't even have to worry about thinking about your builds too much, if that makes sense. So you'll have so many units that you can just like tech up without really any fear of worrying about the field, because you're gonna have so many infantry just blocking the way that your heavy units are just gonna be able to move in very, very quickly. I did manage to get the comm tower. Woo! Thankfully. Yeah. Is it too late though? I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, so I got 2 battlecopters now. They're both moving in. I finally build my transport unit. Sensei has a 5 HP infantry up here capturing the comm tower and going to capture the port too. So this is actually going to be like, what is that, like an 8-day ordeal to capture those? But, I mean, he doesn't really have to worry about that too much. So, in all reality too, I would love to be able to get down here and capture these too. But there's just so many, so much going on the field that it's really hard to keep track of things, and it's hard to actually send those units to the side because they're just really, really needed on the front line at this point. So let's see what happens here. Yeah, medium tank moving into the middle. That's that 9 HP infantry stuff that I'm talking about there too. So it takes it down to 5, only takes it down to 7. Incredibly powerful. Well, the zombies are moving in, boys and girls. Zombies are moving in. Alright, so, this is, yeah, shoot. So he's sitting at 91,000, I'm sitting at 66,000, 20 units to 31 right now. He's got an 11 unit advantage, and he's not really, okay, so, yeah, so he's not ahead on properties right now. So I do have, do I capture? Oh, please tell me I captured the airport. I hope I didn't forget about the airport. Oh boy, we'll find out. So yeah, I did use that super and heal a little bit. I mostly wanted to use it right there for the movement advantage. Okay, good. Almost had a heart attack thinking if I captured the airport or not. See, that's the thing when you're playing live too. I mean, you're thinking so much about the match right in front of you that sometimes you forget about things like that. But fortunately, I didn't. So my 2 battlecopters are in the center right now, so this is a good position for them to be in. This anti-air down here isn't really too close. This battlecopter right here is out of range. So if he does move this guy in closer, I'll be able to take a shot at him. But once again, with Sensei just having that incredible unit advantage, it's very, very difficult to position yourself properly to take those advantageous attacks. Yeah, and he's going to be going for those properties on the side right now. So, flippin' floozle. So yeah, he does another copter command this turn. Okay, just like, oh my god. So 26 units. So I was almost like, you know, getting to the point where I was like even with him again, then boom, 26 turns into 39 units overnight. Not even overnight, like instantly. They just parachute in. They're there in the front line, ready to do damage. It is utterly terrifying. And like the scary thing about a 2-star power is, as long as you, even if it's not charged like at the beginning of your turn, if you do like, you know, let's say a little bit of combat damage, even take some attacks that are not really in your favor just to get that damage done to you, you can do that and then just get a whole bunch of infantry on the field once again. Oh yeah, and I left this like tank right in line of this mech too. I don't even know what I was thinking. But yeah. Whatever. What can you do, right? It is what it is. Oh, okay, yeah. And he's gonna be blocking off both of these, or at least one of the battlecopters. And see, that's how powerful Sensei is too. He's just got so many infantry now that he can just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna use these infantry just to take shots at like your vehicles and just, you know, slowly whittle them down. It's like a giant being attacked by a bunch of little elves. Little tiny forks just poking at you until you die. Scary stuff. Okay. So, yeah, that's funny. Okay, so I go and take those 2 3 HP tanks to interrupt the cap down here, and they both take a damage in return. Woo! I did build a medium tank last turn, which is kind of nice, so I'm going to be hopefully sending that to the front lines pretty soon. I think it's out of here. I think, yeah, so probably right here would be the best choice to put that. He does have so many units right here that are like in reach of the HQ though, which is very spooky times. Build a transfer copter up in the north, because now I am going to start to hopefully send some units down here. It kind of sucks though, because I have to spend 5,000 Advanced Wars bucks to build that up there, when I could have used that to reinforce the front lines, because yeah, I kind of need it on the front lines right now. But, you know, it is what it is, right? So build a second medium tank in the north. Okay, so I leave this artillery unit open here. I am kind of hoping that he moves in with this anti-air unit to take a shot at it, so that I can hopefully get rid of that guy. I can pull this guy back afterwards to get some healing, but I need to get rid of it. Yeah, so 4 infantry finish off those 2 tanks down there. Thanks, Nell. Thanks for the luck. Oh, no good. Ah, well, that's okay. Yeah, so this battlecopter just takes a shot down there too, which is... it's getting pretty close to my bases too, which is kind of intimidating. Not really a huge fan of that. Oh yeah, that's a problem. So yeah, this was bad positioning by me too. I probably shouldn't have did that. Maybe move this guy right here so I wouldn't have been able to get counterattacks, because now I can't do any damage to this guy. And I just left myself open, so that's not a good plan. Not a good plan at all. actually a good time to mention too. On the Discord, if you guys are interested in doing live matches with fellow players from around the world and in the league, if you join the Discord for Advanced Wars by Web, there is actually a live league being run by, I believe his name is Talus, one of the top players in Advanced Wars by Web at the moment. So if you're interested in playing live matches with people in a fair setting, I would suggest joining it because it's a lot of fun. I actually just joined myself last weekend, lost my first match against Radar El Caro Man, so it was okay. You know what, he's way better. He's way better than me though, so that's okay. But you know, if you really want to improve, I would suggest doing that because you get matched with players of like all different skill levels. So you get to fight players that you normally would never fight. So it's really interesting to see the kind of movements that they do. It's a good opportunity to really learn from what they do and learn what you do and just improve in general. So if you like the live format, I would suggest doing that. Highly fun. I'll win my next one. Cross fingers. Alright, continuing on. Yeah, so we got 2 medium tanks in the front lines now. This is actually kind of interesting because he's showing that he's not, well, he's kind of like aggressive with his infantry, but he's being conservative with his big units. So he doesn't, he could have, okay, wait, could he have done that? Let me just make sure. Okay, yeah, okay, no. He could have taken the shot on this guy and just did damage. He probably would have lost the medium tank in the meantime, but he is actually thinking about his movements a little bit, which is good. So day 13 rolls around. And I am launching my counterattack. My battlecopters break out of infantry prison and take shots at this guy here. Fantastic. Oh god, it's so good. Feels so good to just show that battlecopter who's boss. It's like, I'm Andy, I'm here, I'm still alive somehow, I think. Okay, anything else? Oh, nope, this turn, no. So I don't even move this medium tank because he's in such a strong place right there. He's just gonna sit there and be like, yep, not moving. Another scary thing right now, though, is Sensei, once again. He's got Copter Command. Oh god, is he going to pop it and now have 45 units? I don't know, we'll find out. Now he's starting to capture my comm tower. My comm tower! Ugh. That's the other thing with fighting Sensei too, it's just like he's got so many infantry that he's just got them all over the place, and even if they're injured, they're capturing things, and it makes you panic. It makes you have to be like, okay, do I defend the front line, or do I interrupt these caps? It's like, oh, it's just too much going on. You just don't know what to do. Okay. Alright, Mr. Cannon, day 14. What am I gonna do against this horrendous wave of death coming at me right now? And the answer is pretty much nothing. I take out one tank, take another shot. Do I move my recon onto the HQ out of fear? That's pretty much it. I don't even bother interrupting the cap on the comm tower because I just can't. If I try to interrupt that cap, I'm just going to lose those units. Probably going to lose these units anyways. So it's like, what are you going to do? Oh. Day 14. And if you did not guess yet, you could probably guess now that Sensei is going for Copter Command. I'm not Copter Command. He's going for Airborne Assault. Oh boy, this is gonna be bad. Ooh boy, Airborne Assault. So he goes from having 29 units to bam, 45 units. That means that he got. Can we math time? I think that's 16. 16 supercharged, super powerful mechs on the field now. So that's actually a great idea for Sensei, is to use 2 copter commands and then 1 airborne assault afterwards, because you're going to have such an advantage with all those infantry on the field originally that right afterwards, if you follow it up with the airborne assault and just get that firepower on the field, it is going to be devastating. As far as my web is giving me errors. I don't like it. Man. Terrible. Yeah, he actually just joins up a bunch of them too. So, funny thing is, like, I think it's in the Advanced Wars 2 campaign, there's a Sensei battle where you're fighting Adder, and Adder's all like, you're old and stupid and feeble and blah blah blah. And Sensei's just like, you know, I can like join these units up and get money, right? He's like, what? Never heard of that before. But yeah, and then you do it in the game and like, boom, you can build lots of stuff. So the interesting thing about joining units, if you guys do not know, if you haven't played the campaigns of Advance Wars, when you join units, if their HP value goes over 10, then you get the remaining number added onto your funds. Okay? So if you have 2 infantry, and let's say one is 9, and one is, I don't know, like 6? Let's go with 6 because it's easy. You have 1 9 and 1 6. If you join them together, you get 5 HP worth of healing, or worth of funds from that unit. So infantry being 1,000, having an extra 5 would mean that you would get 500 funds added to your value. So you'll be able to spend that turn. Which means you could possibly buy something cool, like Neo tanks. Buy more Neo tanks, like seriously. Flipping so good. Don't get enough credit. Alright. So I take shots at the battlecopter and I take a shot at the medium tank this turn. Super proud of that attack. Did lots of damage. I was very happy with it. So despite the incredible difference in power, in funds, and, well, not really funds actually, I'm doing okay in that regard, but just natural enemies on the field and total value, like I'm doing my best to sort of hold my own here. I do find a few openings and I take them. Slowly just taking out as many units as I can, just building more anti-air units, building more battlecopters, trying to get as many numbers out on the field as I can. Does take out my anti-air unit, which is not great. But, you know, I had to go and take that shot because if I didn't, then, you know, what else would happen? So now things are looking incredibly, incredibly dangerous over by the HQ because there are 2 full HP infantry, 1 9 HP infantry, and a 7 HP infantry, all primed and ready to start capturing that HQ next turn. So the only thing that I can do to really defend against that would be to bring my anti-air units onto the HQ itself. Alrighty. So, yeah. I see, that's what I mean about those battlecopters, right? Because even with the extra 10% defense that I have right now, and the, what is this? I'm on this 1 star. So 20% defense, and Sensei still does 3 damage to this guy with only counterattacking by 1. So incredibly powerful. Now if I had the money right now to actually buy a Neo tank, then, you know, it might be a little bit better, but I don't have any Neo tanks, sadly. So that's not gonna happen. Okay, what else do we got going on here? Yeah, just doing my best to try to clean up the south section there. I'm actually doing okay in the south. You know, it's not too bad, but it's really just the north that I'm worried about. So I take out those infantry, just doing as many shots as I can. I'm even taking like shots that I know aren't gonna win, but I need to do that damage because it's really the only thing that can keep me alive in this game. But there is truly nothing that can keep me alive in this game at the end of the day. So, yeah. Gonna skip ahead. Alright, so you can see the, yeah, the shift in momentum here. Very scary stuff. And I mean, truly, there's not really too much to comment on at this point. It's it's obviously a lost game. But, you know, at the end of the day, it was pretty fun. So, Sensei moves around, finishes up a lot of my units. There is not much that can be done. Infantry going to capture the HQ now. Another airborne assault. So now he is pretty much at his maximum amount of units, 49. His value is well over double what mine is. And instead of watching everything move, we're just gonna move it all at once. Now, day 18, I have 10 units left to 44 units. I do have my super co-power, which I activate. And then I build a missile and resemble. There's nothing else that can really be done. So I managed to kill 50 units. I lost 46 units. He managed to kill 44 and lost 7 out of 72. I don't really understand how this works too much. But either way, Sensei, incredibly powerful. Very, very difficult to go up against him. So, yeah, that is the power of Sensei. Copter Command and Airborne Assault are two of the most deadly powers. The only person I would say that is comparable in the T0 bracket would be possibly Hachi. Because Hachi has a similar ability where he can buy units from all his cities, but he just doesn't automatically get them. And they're not ready to go that turn too. So the fact that these units they spawn on the city and they're ready to go that turn, that is what truly makes them incredibly, incredibly powerful. So there's not really too much else to say about that. Had a lot of fun playing this one. So yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed, because I always have a blast with these, even if I lose sometimes. So it's always a good learning experience too, right? Because if you put yourself up against something that is impossible to win, then you have to think about new ways that you can actually win. That's just pretty much it. And like, I felt like I was doing okay for the most of this one, but yeah, just too many infantry, too many mechs at the very end. Too many Neo tanks, too many battle copters, too many medium tanks. Too much everything, just in general. So, yeah. That's it. But I hope you all enjoyed. So, there is going to be one more episode of the Broken Test. The final episode where I am going to do a rematch against Sturm. So, we're going to have Andy versus Sturm one more time. So, it should be fantastic. That is going to be the last episode of the Broken Test. Please look forward to that in the future. Once again, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you again in the very next episode. So, until then, take care. Bye-bye. This has been Mr. Cannon, aka Semi-Original Guy. You all have yourself a fantastic day. Take care, and keep the battle going.